Hi, this is Alex, and in this video today I'm going to be talking about insurance options for when you're teaching English abroad, whether that's in South Korea, Vietnam, or another country. Because if you come out here to teach and live in a new country, you definitely want to be covered for any medical things that happen. You don't want to be in a new country that you don't know and have to worry about something happening to you and not being covered for it. So I'm going to talk about what the government and in-country insurance options are, as well as travel insurance, and if that's a good option to cover you for all this. So for me personally, I've been out in Asia for going on 3 years now. I've traveled to over 30 countries, and I've done a teaching stint in South Korea. So now that I'm actually living out in Vietnam and working on Ninja Teacher, where I help other people get started and offer TEFL courses and that kind of stuff, I'm just on travel insurance. But I'll get to that in a sec. I'll start off with where exactly I started, which was South Korea, and I did a teaching contract there. So I actually had a very personal hands-on encounter with getting insurance taken care of there because I had an accident. So let me start there and I'll tell you a little bit about that and how that works. So for me, when I started teaching, it was in South Korea with a 1-year contract, and this was a great time. I really enjoyed it, and I did get the medical insurance that comes with the contract in South Korea. So actually, when I was there, I broke my ankle quite badly. So I was playing soccer and it was in the rain, and I bent my ankle in a way that it definitely shouldn't bend, and I ended up both breaking my ankle and tearing the ligament off the bone. So I ended up going into the hospital, getting a double surgery, both to get a plate in there to reconnect the bone, as well as reattach the ligament, which had totally torn off and got lodged in the joint. And in retrospect, it's kind of a funny story because I went into the ER where there was a doctor on duty whose English wasn't that great. And after doing an x-ray, he told me, need surgery? If no surgery, disabled, like doing this with his hands. So that was a bit of a shock. Luckily, the healthcare in South Korea is very good. So I went through the process of getting major surgery and getting that all sorted out. And overall, it was a pretty good experience considering. The actual hospitals were great. They looked after me really well. So what can I say about the actual insurance and the coverage of that? Well, in South Korea, if you get a teaching contract, it is actually a requirement to have the national health insurance or private health insurance to get your working visa. So the working visa requires it, and the coverage you typically get is going to be 50-50 coverage, which means that you pay 50% and then the government pays the other 50%, or the insurance pays the other 50%. Now, the medical costs in South Korea are very low already, and then you get this 50% off. So for most minor things, it's really going to cost you hardly anything, and it's very affordable and manageable. When it comes to something major like what happened to me, I think in total, the entire thing cost around $2,000 with everything covered, including x-rays, MRIs, 2 weeks in the hospital, the recovery afterwards, the actual surgery, which is major surgery. I was totally put under on both sides of the ankle, and then the cast and all the checkups and the physiotherapy afterwards. So to me, that's actually very good, because the fact that I had to, not save my usual $500 each month for like 3 or 4 months to cover that and get back healthy again, I think it was totally worth it, of course, But if you do have that kind of situation, you know that you are covered for a major event and it's not going to be totally unaffordable. So overall, that insurance you get with a teaching contract in South Korea is really good. You pretty much covered. One thing I should note is that this does only kick in after you've come over to South Korea and you've got your alien registration card, your ARC card, which is your little identity card that you get, and then you are like officially a resident there, and then the insurance takes effect. So for that first period, you're not covered, and for that, I recommend you get some travel insurance. So you can easily get this online. You simply go to a website, apply for it, and then you get covered for maybe that first month. And so far, when I've used travel insurance like that, it's been really simple and easy. Personally, I've used World Nomads travel insurance. I found them to be good. They have got back to me, being very professional. I've never actually claimed from them, but the whole process of using it and knowing that I'm covered has been very good. And the nice thing is they also do cover personal item theft. So if you have anything stolen during that initial period, or flights, and if your baggage gets lost, which wouldn't happen in South Korea because it's like the safest country in the world, so you're not very likely to have had anything stolen from you. However, it's good to have that coverage. So I found them to be good, and you can check them out if you're interested. I'll leave a link below. So if you want to get covered just for that first month until the insurance kicks in, is a good idea, I think. Now, when it comes to other countries other than South Korea, well, Southeast Asia in general, and anywhere in Asia outside of South Korea, I think China has a pretty good insurance system too, with contracts. But in my experience traveling after South Korea, it's been harder to find any options in the country. So most people I know out here in Vietnam that are teaching are not using any kind of local insurance. They're also using international insurance from their home country, which is something that you could look into before you come out, or online travel insurance like I'm doing. And since traveling around for the last 2 years after South Korea, I've just used travel insurance. And the reason for that is it just seems to be kind of finicky and tough to get it in the country. And I do know here in Vietnam, quite a few companies, when you get a teaching job, will allow you to get travel insurance, in-country insurance. But you do want to probably go to international hospitals when you're out in Southeast Asia, just to make sure you get the best care. So make sure that any options that you do get from a school have that. Otherwise, just stick to travel insurance or international insurance so that you're covered for any medical emergencies and you can go to a good hospital. So from my experience, that's the best way to do things for South Korea and Vietnam, other countries you might want to come out and travel to and teach in out here. So hopefully you find that helpful. I'll leave a link in the description below with World Nomads. I do recommend them. Just don't make sure that you do have the receipts for any personal items for the theft insurance and keep them on you, because I do know that the coverage is only for items stolen off your persons. So make sure to make a note of that. Just a quick tip. So that's it from me. I hope you found this useful, and make sure to go over to ninjateacher.com if you want to start teaching English abroad. Thumbs up this video to support the channel. Subscribe for more videos about living abroad in Asia, and I'll talk to you very soon. Peace.